Hey guys, Dave out of here. Just want to start as always by saying thank you for taking to my channel. I really hope the content I provide is useful for you. If it is, I really appreciate you guys go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so I can continue to grow and provide more quality content. Also, if you really enjoy the content, you might even consider buying me a coffee, and the link for that will be in the video description. So now on to today's topic. So right now this will be the second video in a series of basically making a home server for our home lab. And the idea here is we really want to make a data center grade um, server or home lab so that we can, or at least for me, my application will be to tackle data science, machine learning, deep learning, those heavy data intensive type of problems. So that's what our focus is going to be, and that's what we're going to try to build here. So without further ado, we're going to hop into it today. And the goal today is just going to be to get the rack itself set up. So I'm going to hop off here now and also have the other camera, and we'll actually start putting together the rack. So should be fun. We'll see how it goes.
Alrighty, guys. So now we're gonna start unboxing. So let's just take a look real quick. So these are all the boxes that have come in for the server and all the other things I showed you in the first video. And that box on the very end next to the poker table, that is the box with the rack. So we're gonna take that to an open spot and we'll start unboxing, and I will set the camera up so we can just watch as the rack goes up, and I'll stop intermittently and kind of explain what's going on. So let's hop in. Alrighty guys, so I got the box in an open spot, and we're gonna start putting everything together. So I'm just gonna show the model of what we're actually gonna be putting together first. So let's just take a look. Can't really see if you guys can see it, but it is a 12 unit adjustable 4-post open frame server rack. So that's what we're gonna put together, and let's get into it. All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, this is a better picture. Here we go. So there we go. 12 unit adjustable 4-post open frame server rack from startech.com. Had really good reviews, and so we'll see. We'll see just exactly how easy it is to put together. Okay, looks like we've got most of the pieces unboxed. I'm gonna do one more thing that only helps me, is I like to put all of the small pieces in a box. So I'm gonna take this old chip box and put all the small pieces in that so I don't lose them. So hopefully that will help me get through this without losing a bunch of pieces. So, wow, interesting. Even comes with some legitimate wrenches. That's pretty cool. Grounding wires. So that'll be pretty interesting. Yeah, so far this seems pretty legit. This has a lot of really nice stuff. The steel feels really, really high grade. I mean, it's super thick. It was super heavy moving the box. So I'm very pleased. so far. If I can put it together. We'll see how good it looks. Okay, cool. Alright guys, so unboxing is complete. I'm gonna turn this around for reference, but this is what it looks like. So there we go. There's all of our pieces. And I'll just go ahead and really quickly show you all of this pieces. The instruction manual. And all of those. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go quiet again for a little bit and start trying to figure out how to actually put all this stuff together. And hopefully, actually, let's do this. Let's move this over here now. It's a little bit different area. So hopefully you guys can actually see me put it together now. Yep, the server is 29 and 3/4 inches long. So actually you probably need to make it 30 inches. So 4 and 4. So let's see. Okay, cool. So, final answer, the way we're gonna set this up to start is we are going to set it up 4 and 4. And then screw these bolts, or screw the nuts in here so that it holds it at this length. And we're gonna do that for all 4 of the similar pieces. Okay, cool. So that answers that question. All right, and for completeness and clarity, we will be using these bolts. That is the number 10 M8 bolt, and then the number 11 M8 washer, which can be turned by the 13 millimeter wrench here. So that's what we're going to be putting in here. So there we go. And I'm going to go quiet again, and I'm going to put all these together, and then we'll come back for the next step. Also, one more thing, just for now, I'm only putting in 2 just to hold the length. If that's the correct length, then I'll come back and put the other 2 bolts in and then tighten it later. And also too, make sure that you're putting the washers on as well. So make sure you're doing that while you're putting these on. I forgot to mention that earlier. But it's the M8 washers with the M8 bolt. All right, cool. So now all of the, I guess you could say, arms or trusses that are going to connect the 2 wheelbases together are now put together, or at least we think they're the right length. So on to step 2. So now we are going to use 2 of the beams assembled in the previous step. And we are going to basically assemble the vertical rails and we're going to create a frame, basically a square frame in the bottom that assemble the vertical rails. So this is what we're going to try to get at here. This structure. So here's the bottom square, and then here are the vertical posts that are going to connect to another square on the top to give us our rack. So here we go. I'm going to try to start figuring out how to do that, and that's the next step. Okay. So, for another part of the next step, we want to take 2 pieces that we assembled before from the bolts, lay them out face down so we can see the ridge in the middle, and then similar for one on top. And then we need to find 2 pieces that have these square brackets for our vertical pieces. If you imagine, this is going to be one side square section. There's going to be vertical pieces that are coming out towards the phone. But these will actually, when the rack is complete, will be flipped horizontally, and they'll sit on the ground. Or, I guess that's not really doesn't make sense. They will be horizontal rather than vertical. So this will actually be the side, and this will be the bottom and the top. So, when you find these pieces, make sure you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 to 12, and the same thing on the other side. And this is going to be a left piece with the corner fitting like this. And this is going to be a right piece with the corners fitting similarly. And if you notice, on this side we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all the way. So this is what it should look like, or at least the one piece should look like. And I'm gonna go ahead and put all the bolts in this piece, and then I'll start putting these horizontal pieces, or the pieces that hold the 2 sides together on, and I'll show that in just a second. Also, putting this together, we're going to use the same screws as we did in the last step. So the M8 nuts and the M8 washers we're going to use for this step as well. Okay guys, so I made a faux pas. So you actually have to thread the bolt through not only these 2 pieces, but also this vertical piece here. So they need to go through all of them. And the same is going to be true of the bottom one down here as well. So same step as I just talked about earlier. We're now going to be adding in this piece before we actually thread the bolt in. So sorry about that, guys. I'm still learning too. So I'm going to go ahead and make those changes real quick. Okay. Okay, finally correctly installed the bottoms, or where the legs or rollers are gonna go. So important to note is, if you can tell, this tab is slightly smaller than this tab. So this tab needs to be facing out away from the center of the rack. And these holes, or the nuts, should be on the outside like this. This is the correct way that this corner should look when you're finished. So this bottom piece that holds the rollers should actually sit on top of the square that we made earlier. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I think it makes sense visually better than I can explain it with words. But that's what we're going for here. Okay, so I'm gonna put the last side together, put it on the rack, and then the rack frame should be totally finished. Okay, I put this side together pretty much exactly the same way that I put this side together. The reason I'm putting it together on the ground like this is because, as one person, there's no other way that I can attach it to the top of this one. So the best way I can find to do it is put it all together, set it, flip it over and invert it, set it on top of this side, and then take one side apart, or one corner apart, and then rethread it through these top posts, one corner at a time. So that's what I'm doing here, and it's really just because I don't have anybody to help me. It's just myself. So this is the best way, easiest way I can find to do it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's the step. Okay, guys, the rack's fully put together. Now I'm gonna work on putting the feet the rollers and the leveling feet on. So I'm gonna flip the thing around, and I'll put the feet on, and then there's probably some grounding wire and a couple other small things that until the rack itself is actually finished. Then once the rack is finished, we'll go ahead and we'll tighten everything up. We should be pretty much done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on. Okay, so to attach the roller and the leveling feet, we're going to need the following. So this is a 22, this washer is 23, and the nut is 24. So that is M6 screw, M6 flat washer, and M6 flange nut. So that's what, these are all M6s, what we're using here to attach the roller. And then the leveling foot just screws in. So basically, let's see if we can get this closer. But this screws in this hole. Okay, so the leveling foot wouldn't go in, or was having trouble going in, so I am going to help it go in with some vice grips. And it's going in fine, it's just really snug. So, in fact, actually, let me go get some vice grips. That would be a better tool. So, now we have some vice grips. There we go. Now, we can do this much more efficiently. We can crank that down, get it out of the way so that we can level it when we roll it in place. Okay, it's probably good enough. So now, we're gonna attach the rollers. I don't really know if there's a direction. I don't think it really matters. Let's just double check the directions just to be safe. Okay, so it says that, oh, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. This swivels and this only fits one way. So, there you go. So, we are going to put the bolt, or the washer, on the bolt, and then put this in from the top. Okay. And then once we do that, we're going to put this nut on from the bottom. So roller, and then nut, there we go. Screw that right in place. So you may need to get another pair of pliers or tools or another wrench to hold this side while you tighten with this wrench. I'm gonna try it without it. Yeah, you're gonna need two. So if you have another 10mm wrench, I would go grab that, but I don't. So I am just going to use vice grips on the back side, if I can get them in there. Actually, reverse. I'm going to use my 10mm wrench on the inside, and I'm going to use a pair of vice grips on the outside. All right, there we go. One down. Okay, cool. So now they're all in. So as you can see, this roller is in, nice and snug, and then under it is the leveling foot. So once you get it into place, you can just loosen this until it touches and levels your rack, or you can do that with all four corners and it will level your rack and make it stationary. So that's the rollers, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this for all four corners. And don't forget, guys, put the washer and the bolt on the top side and the nut on the bottom side, and put all of them in first before you start tightening. You are probably gonna need a pair of chain locks or vice grips or something else, or two 10mm wrenches for this, because you have to hold the backside while you tighten the nut, so to keep it from spinning. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of this up, and that was putting on the rollers and the leveling feet. Alrighty guys, I got the wheel or the rollers and the leveling feet put on. So at this point the frame is pretty much done. So as you can see, it rolls around. It's nice. Show you more in depth if I can, but that is what the front is supposed to look like, or I guess one of the fronts. Or front or back, I guess you could say. But you have these brackets where the server is gonna get racked in, or screwed in basically, or bolted in, I guess I should say. You have the feet down there. You can spin it around. This is the side that we built in the very beginning, at 29 3/4 inches. Both of these at 4 and 4 for length. And again, one other front or back, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's it guys. At this point, everything's still a little bit loosey-goosey. So I need to tighten everything back up, and don't forget to add back these two bolts here, if we didn't put those in the beginning, or at least I didn't anyway. So if you didn't put those back, and then tighten up all of your bolts, and we should be pretty much good to go. I think really the only steps we have left are, putting the cable management hooks on, and then the grounding wire, it looks like, but it doesn't really specify where to put the grounding wire. So I'll do some research on that, and I will let you know about the grounding wire and show you where to put the cable management hooks in just a minute once I finish tightening everything up. Alright guys, so all of the tightening has been done. As you can see, it's much sturdier now. It's looking really good. Only thing left now is just to put the cable management clips on there, and then the ground wires. So I'm going to go ahead and look at how to do that, and that'll be the next and final parts of this video. Alrighty guys, so now we're gonna put on the cable management clips. So these are the cable management clips. The screw you need for this is this guy right here. That is a 19 screw according to the directions. And that is more specifically just a generic hook mounting screw, so they don't give any more information, but this is the screw. Okay, so the first spot for the cable management clip is right here on the side. So looks like it's gonna go to the side here, just like this. And there's little grooves that the feet fit into. So cable management clip goes in on this way, and the screw goes in the back side in the middle in that little hole right there. So voila, one cable management clip done. And then the same thing on all the other sides. So there's another one here. There's 4 cable management clips. Each one is just on the side here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the cable management clips. Alrighty guys, so I just did some quick research, and it's actually gonna be easier to install the grounding wires and everything when we actually rack the server. So I'm not going to show that in this video. And if you notice, I did end up taking the wire cable management clips off because I don't have a lot of space in my apartment, and that adds an extra like 2.5, 3 inches to either side of this bad boy. So I'm just going to leave mine off, but I did include in the video how to put them on. So if you need them, feel free. But for me, I'm just going to leave them off. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. As you can see, we've completed the setup of this rack. In the next video, we're actually going to rack the server in here and ground it, and then we'll, I guess, go from there. And the next video will probably be setting up all of the peripheral equipment like the switch and the access point and a lot of the other stuff. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna break that up yet, but those will be in the videos to come. But we'll rack the server in this next one. And yeah, guys, again, thanks for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. Please give me a like and subscribe if you find this content useful. If you really like the content, please consider buying me a coffee, and the information to do so should be in the link, or in a link in the video description. Yeah, guys, that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.